Breaking into the music industry is every artist's dream, but for upcoming musicians, it often feels like running into a brick wall. As part of the broader entertainment sector, music plays a significant role in the economy, with the digital music market in Kenya expected to reach $19.16 billion in 2025. Yet for singer Jambia and rapper Jawbreaker, cracking into the lucrative industry has been anything but smooth. This week on Mint, we uncover the hidden struggles behind Kenya's vibrant music scene. Also, today on Mint, building a digital savings culture in Kenya with Chums. Turning shells into shillings, the snail king of Kayole. How a 5,000 Kenya shilling loan became a thriving brand, the Home 254 story.
Earn it, spend it, save, invest. Earn it, spend it, save, invest. Mola, kila siku niko chesa. Mola, make more bila stress. Mola, kila siku wesa. Mola, make more bila stress.
This week on Money Moves, we explore why passion and skill alone are not enough to propel new musicians to stardom and what's really holding back their efforts to succeed and be part of the glitzy music scene.
Earn it, spend it, save, invest.
Rapper Jawbreaker and singer Jambia are up-and-coming artists in the music industry who are trying to make a name for themselves. You've probably heard their songs.
I'm singing happy birthday to me. Najikatia keki yo mami.
Kuna vitu za kufanya mara ingine na zingine huwezi fanya mara ingine.
But even though Jawbreaker has bars for days and Jambia possesses a soulful and expressive range, they have each discovered that talent alone cannot get them to superstar or legendary status, and that certain bottlenecks are preventing them from breaking into the industry.
Turning my passion into business, it's not easy. It's just like any other business out here. Iko na losses na iko na gains. Unaitwa event, me agree that this is the certain amount of something you're going to be paid, and then you don't even get it in the first place. But at the end of the day, gain experience.
Actually, unafaa kuwa na good communication skills kwa business side of it. As an underground artist, sema nikienda nataka gigs ama nataka shughuli zingine za pia zitanisupport, ndo unajua pia muziki inaitisha. Lazima uwekele pesa jo. So but hizo challenges nikikam kujibonga, unataka kuninyanyasa jo. Dego nilipa ganzi yangu, nataka pesa watu mekanzo pewe ukulie jo.
Jambia has found that a rate card is a strong defense against promoters who undercut him, and it sets clear expectations.
Rate card yako ina guiding mse, hata kama atakula mob, wewe hujui nini anakula, but at least kuna ile rate card yenye umeshapeana. Kila siku mimi nalani kitu mpya kuhusu kuna vigate au promoter, na si rahisi. Hao watu ni wachiki, alafu unapata ni watu wamekuwa kwa game for the longest time. Hujui anything. By the time una catch up ndio ujue hivi ndio kunaendanga. Umekula pesa, and then sasa ndio unaenda ukipandisha rate card, unajua hivi ndio nafaa kulipisha.
The music industry can sometimes feel like a maze, and upcoming artists could benefit from the guidance of experienced, established artists. However, the lack of support from industry professionals for advice or collaboration remains a significant challenge for them.
Personally, hakuna msanii mwenye nimepatana aniambie this is how it goes. Like, it's a very tough world hapa nje for sisi upcoming artists. Kila msanii anaonanga ni kama uko hapo kuchukua plate yake. Ajui tunasaidiana tu group pamoja. Hadi ma influencer wanaweza kushika mkono kuambia hey bro, inaendanga hivi na hivi na hivi. Hakuna influencer hata mmoja mwenye anaweza kuambia hivi ndio kunaenda. Unless sasa uanze kumake it, umeanza kuwa na jina, ndio wanaanza kuflock. Tumepata nao events, nimeattend events, nimelipa events sijui ngapi. Nimejaribu kuongea nao asi ni DM.
Ni ngumu jo. Kwanza kuna lugha fulani wasanii tunakuaga nayo. Tutapiga shughuli tutafutane. Kishaambiwa hivyo jo. Mimi ndambia underground artist mwenye kwa hapo. Ukipatana na msanii mbigi kukuliko, akwambia mnafaa mpige shughuli, usichukue namba yake, acha yachukue yako.
However, one man has stepped up for them. While Jambia and Jawbreaker have not received active guidance from established musicians, super producer Motif Didon has not left them out in the cold. Through Elevate Live Studio, Motif is providing new musicians with great talent and potential access to a quality studio to help transform them from rookies into brands.
Zima media training ni Okay, venye unafaa kuishi kama msanii, kujibrand nini, venye unafaa kuhandle yourself on an interview. Hizo vitu kadhaa jo, venye mziki inafaa kuingizie do.
Then how do they promote their music to the masses?
Nimetembea maklabu, nimeomba chances, nimetembea karaoke nights, auditions hizi. Mi personally hizi auditions ndio zimeanza kuniweka kwa spotlight.
Apart from clubs, karaoke nights, and events, social media is a game changer for emerging artists to showcase their music and bypass promoters, established artists who don't want to support them, and even radio. However, after all is said and done, they must invest in their music, which is not cheap.
Music in itself is expensive. Ngoma moja audio, kama unataka produce ule mnomo unasikia sijui 35k. Unataka video quality proper, jipange na 50 kupanda. Like ni expensive. Na hiyo pesa hata ikuji. Inaanza kuja jini kijulikana.
Unajua mimi kutoka kwanza mziki yenyewe ijaanza kunilipa design. Naweza ekelea mziki tena So lazima pia nitegemea hapo nje nini. Shughuli za side hustle too.
For Jambia and Jawbreaker, fame and topping charts are not enough. The goal is to turn music into a sustainable livelihood.
Hakunanga feeling tamu kama music yako kuimbwa na crowd. That's every artist's dream. Success ni mziki yangu isichezwe Kenya pekee. Ile time yenyewe imeanza kutoka nje. Hapo sasa ndio nitajua yenyewe nimeanza ku make it. It's not about fame. Nataka mziki yangu ilisha familia. Mziki yangu inijengee biashara. Hapo sasa ndio nitajua yenyewe make it.
Mimi success imenifikia nikifungua record label yangu na nimeshikilia wasanii tu na distaki wengi. 4 tu. Alafu 4 ni cheki bado wanasumbua kwa media. Antabambika jo.
For years, chamas and other informal savings and investment groups have been the main drivers of financial inclusion and saving culture in Kenya. Today, as technology continues to improve access to financial services and formal accounts, more people are developing a habit of saving to build wealth and attain financial security. On Mula Hacks this week, we explore how Chums, a digital savings and investment app, is making it easier to kickstart better savings habits and reinforce positive financial behavior.
Saving money is one of the most powerful ways to secure one's financial future. The importance of saving and investing is rarely disputed and is one of the most basic but often repeated financial advice. Despite that, Kenyans have for years struggled with a low savings culture. With the proliferation of digital money lending apps, it has become easier to habitually borrow than to save. However, there are apps such as Chums that are designed to help Kenyans put money aside as little as 5 shillings and develop great saving and investing habits.
For someone who hasn't worked with, who hasn't experienced Chums, so first of all, I would like to tell them Chums, the name is slang for money. And what the platform is aiming to do is to enable anyone to build a savings and investment culture. How do we do this? We do this by giving you an app. It's a mobile app which you can access on Play Store and iOS Store. And then the app itself enables the person to create goals. So for example, if you are planning to invest for vacation, for school fees, for business, you're able to create goals to represent, images to represent those goals. And out of those goals, you can create reminders. And additionally, part of the behavioral finance or behavioral psychology is the app is able to guide you to save based on how you handle your M-Pesa transactions.
The app also has a groups feature which allows users to save with their friends, which sort of mirrors a chama. Friends can chat in the group and remind each other to save. Normal savings on the app earn an interest of 6% annually, while locked savings earn 8%. To withdraw money from a goal, it takes 2 days and the funds are deposited into one's M-Pesa account. Since its inception, Samuel says Chums has helped thousands of people meet their money goals and also helped them to start forming good saving habits.
So we started doing research about why people don't save. We started that in late 2019, all through 2020, through our friends, our peers, and then outside our close circles. And then we started building it, I would say mid-2020. In 2021, we started applying for the license from CMA. And we were given a license by CMA to now continue rolling out the product in the market to the public. Since then, to date now, we have over 50,000 registered users. And we are happy that the app has had an impact to a lot of people.
Being a Kenyan app, Chooms has taken several steps to gain users' trust and assure them of its safety in handling people's money.
There's definitely that getting the license from Capital Markets Authority, which is very crucial. 2, we have partnered with fund managers who are regulated. So all the funds we aggregate, they are channeled to fund managers who also have licenses under Capital Markets Authority. And then 3, all that money that is collected, again, it goes into a custodian bank account owned by the fund manager. So custodian bank accounts are basically, it's another way of saying a special bank account allocated by CBK and the likes of CMA, which ensures funds aggregated there are public funds and it's under their view.
The value of saving money and accumulating a healthy nest cannot be stressed enough. But factors like lack of funds are a big hindrance that prevents people from building up savings, let alone investing.
Most fund managers were asking for a minimum of 1,000 Kenya shillings. But our approach is we are allowing people to save as low as 5 shillings. So whatever you do, whatever you are working on, even if you get 10 shillings, that 10 shillings over time amount to something if you're very consistent. And the example I always like to give for this is back in our homes we used to have piggy banks. Those black boxes where they had a slit and you'd put coins there. The whole point for that box wasn't for you to become a millionaire, but the whole point was for you to build that savings culture and to see that every shilling you put in there, at the end of the year, it amounts to something.
The popular 52-week money challenge is also among the goals on the app, where people deposit an increasing amount of money each week for 1 year.
So 52-week challenge is basically a preset plan on how you can save. You can go to the platform and select 52-week challenge, and basically what it does, it tells you week 1 you deposit 50 shillings, week 2 you double the amount, week 3 you triple the amount, all the way to the year end. So we have seen that really works well for most people who are still trying to figure out planning savings to work with. So the idea is, one of the things we are going to do is introduce more challenges.
A culture of building up your savings starts with deciding, setting a goal and achieving it 1 shilling at a time. Whether you want to buy a pair of shoes or go on a family holiday, creating habits that encourage you to set aside money for your dreams is one step closer with digital apps like Chooms. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Coming up, turning shells into shillings, the snail king of Kayole.
Earn it, spend it, save, invest. Moolah, kila siku waste that moolah, make more bila stress.
Welcome back to Mint, where we explore the world of personal finance, simplifying it and making it relatable for you. Whether you're looking to earn, spend, save or invest, we've got you covered.
Earn it, spend it, save, invest.
Snail farming is emerging as one of Kenya's newest agribusiness ventures. With demand growing both locally and internationally, farmers are proving that even the slowest creatures can yield quick profits. From breeder stock to booming sales, meet Ephraim Okeo, the farmer turning shells into shillings. In the heart of Nairobi's bustling neighborhoods, an unlikely business is quietly turning heads. One young entrepreneur is transforming slimy creatures into opportunity, nutrition, and even beauty products.
Before I started, I was working with a certain organization. So we started with training people how they could grow their own food with the kitchen gardens and everything. I figured out which source of protein that I could provide. So the answer came to the snails. I did a lot of research and I saw it as an opportunity, something that people could embrace here in Kenya and also generate income out of it. Later on, after starting, I did a lot of market through the social media. Then there's a day I got the first client who was a Kenyan. So that motivated me even more.
From nutrition to income, his idea grew into a farm that offers much more than just meat. From slime for skincare to shell powder for animal feed, Connor Farm is proving that humble snails have many uses.
I went to a certain farm. I acquired the breeder stock. I purchased around 5 kgs. Some of the breeders died because I had no knowledge about heliculture. So from there now, I went for training, got the certificate, and after that one, I now acquired a KWS permit because snails are considered wildlife. Then later on, I was in business.
Today, most of his customers are expatriates, largely Nigerian and Chinese restaurants in Kenya. Beyond meat, snails provide valuable slime which Connor Farm now uses to produce its own skincare line. The shells are also crushed into powder for animal feeds, while the intestines serve as food for fish and poultry.
Currently, we ain't meeting the demand, and so we want to construct other snaileries where people can access this snail meat.
So far, Connor Farm has launched 4 organic skincare products: nail cream, body cream, face cream, along with soaps, body wash, and serums. With demand growing locally and abroad, the goal is expansion, more production units, and a wider skincare line.
To tackle the challenge that we have of meeting the demand, we usually do training workshops. We organize workshops each and every Saturdays of the month. So after we train farmers, we enable them to start their own farms with the structures and everything. We provide the breeder stock. We also link them with the market directly and indirectly. What I will encourage the young youths is not wait for opportunities, but to create opportunities. I can encourage them to just start. Kama mimi, I just started with like 5 kgs. Right now I'm producing more than 100 kgs every month. We usually sell the snails in kgs, and the price for the snails depends on the cost of production. The prices varies, so with the alive ones we sell at a minimum cost of 2,000 shillings per kg. And we have the extracted fresh meat. That one we sell at a minimum of 3,000 per kg. Then we have the oven dried. Oven dried is 3,500 per kilo.
Snail farming is not capital intensive, and the feeds are readily available. From wooden boxes for urban farmers to net houses and concrete pens for large-scale setups, structures can be tailored to budget and scale, making snail farming possible in both rural and urban areas.
This is one of the giant African land snails. So the snail has a lifespan of 5 years, and the snail can grow up to 20 centimeters.
Snails may be slow movers, they have fascinating biology and breeding patterns. Fun fact is that they are hermaphrodites. Red soil is ideal for farming them, and when it comes to reproduction, each snail can lay up to 200 eggs per clutch, 6 times a year, with eggs hatching in 3 to 4 weeks.
If you're doing snail farming commercially, what we usually do is harvest the snails when they reach 140 grams and above. The snails takes like 4 to 5 months to gain that 140 grams. A kg will contain like around 10 to 15 pieces of snails. These are the live ones, but for the meat, the number will double. That's why the snail meat is a bit expensive.
And it's not just about him. Through workshops and training, Connor Farm is creating opportunities for others to earn, innovate, and feed their families.
At our monthly workshops, we usually prepare the snail meat. We show them on how to prepare, how to extract the meat from the shell, different ways to prepare the meat. They also taste the snails and find the meat amazing.
Earn it, spend it, save, invest.
If you have seen the variety of clothes branded Home 254, then you have seen the handiwork of Brian Jura. Brian was destined to be an engineer, but as he pursued his studies, he reached a point where he asked himself an important but often intimidating question: what do I really want to be? With a loan of 5,000 shillings, Brian established Home 254 in 2016, initially purchasing ready-made stitched hoodies and sweatpants and branding them with the Home 254 logo. After a few years in the business, he began making his own clothes, and the rest, as they say, is history. Here's his story.
It is 2020, 2 years after Job Brian Jura, whose friends know better as JB, borrowed 200,000 shillings to help grow Home 254, the company he started in 2015. JB was reluctant to give up a portion of his business, and so he rolled up his sleeves and got into a frenzy of work that was so intense he has blocked out the details of what he did to dig himself out of the hole. To get out of the bad deal, JB secured a better business deal and successfully repaid the investment, overcoming this make or break situation. Getting the investors to get off his back was one of the first big hurdles JB dealt with as he grew Home 254. The idea to create a clothing brand started at Juja as a young engineering student went about his studies.
GOtv Electronics and Computer Engineering, 4th year. That's when I started. I didn't used to like how people used to wear the nguo za green ama red ama white. Hiyo flag ya Kenya unashona no shati. So 2015 ndo nilianza hii hustle. The funds came from part of it came from my rent and an M-Shwari loan of 2,400, so that's 4,800 just to get some pieces from River Road. That time we used to get them from River Road. We were not stitching anything, just buying ready-made stuff, branded.
And that's exactly how a lot of brands do it. They buy ready-made clothes, put their brand name on them, and put them on the market. JB, however, realized that walking the same path as the rest in the market would not make Home 254 any different.
So I just searched where to brand clothes. There's so many places you can get. The quality is not that good, but that's what we had. Then there's a person at that time used to sell hoodies and sweatpants and sweatshirts. So we bought a few of those pieces. Then again, it's at this place where we used to brand.
Home 254 picked up, and JB decided to invest in a small shop in the Nairobi CBD area. At this point, his clothing was receiving attention, and through referrals, the orders started pouring in.
Our first personal space was around 2018. Yeah, we had a small cubicle, like I think 5 by 5, or it was just a small space. Then we stayed there for a while. Then I found, when you're working in a space where this person produces for more people, you'll meet other businesses there. So then I used to see someone coming with ready-made hoodies. So I used to ask them, where do you get your hoodie? Then they say they make for themselves. Then I asked them, can you make for me? Yeah, that's how I got to do hoodies from that other person. Then their business started fumbling, Then one of their tailors, I asked him if he could work for me. And he kind of agreed. And these other people agreed to sell fabric to me.
In 2019, Home 254 landed a lucrative deal with Coke Studio Africa, which enabled them to produce hoodies in 3 different markets. As a result of this partnership, Home 254 experienced growth and relocated its main operations from a small space in Nairobi CBD to a factory in Juja. His new quest took him to China to familiarize himself with the business of fabric and imports.
In 2019-2020, that's why we had our breakthrough. We got a deal from Coke Studio. We're the ones who did Coke Studio, Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya. But this deal, I had to take it to that person because I didn't have any stitching things or anything. Then Coke Studio paid us. That was my first time to see such a big check. But all that money, I put it back into the business.
JB's journey has been one of creativity and rediscovery, bringing together a passion for fashion and sustainability.
Our brand is supposed to be a high-level brand in Kenya. We are kind of zero-waste kind of company. We are a made-to-order kind of brand, which is our main model that controls around 80% of our business. Then we have made-to-stock now. But we're not doing just made-to-stock, we're doing a controlled stock.
He soldiers on. And JB's dream is to build a sustainable fashion brand and see Home 254 listed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
For the brand, first of all, it's just sharing that feeling of Kenya. Let me tell you, just seeing someone even at the airport, at the streets. You know how it feels like if you walk out here and find someone in Home 254, then a stranger, then just say hi. That feeling is crazy because they know this is a Kenyan-made brand.
Brian's story reinforces that patience is indeed a virtue in one's journey, which can take several turns before it finally bears fruit. His one leap of faith into the clothing business has become a successful brand inspiring designers and entrepreneurs in the 254. This wraps up today's episode of Mint, Money Made Simple, your essential guide to personal finance designed to help you make your money work smarter for you. For more information, visit mint@mula.co.ke or tv47.digital. Stay safe and keep minting. Until next week, I'm Lydia Nyawera.